And then there you go. As you can see, it has all been ticked off. And that's how you can do all three together as quickly as that, as we've covered in this video. Starting off with top transfers. So you're going to head over to manager career. And you are going to select on original. Make sure it's on original and not live. And then when you are into this, you are going to make a new career mode if you need to, or continue one you already have. Ideally, you want to start a new one. Doesn't matter what team you pick. So let's go ahead and choose Liverpool for this argument. And as you can see here, with Liverpool, we are going to go ahead and get over to the start of the season. You can play as a real manager or create one, doesn't matter. Now, in terms of settings, I always set it to beginner in 3 minutes just in case I want to carry on and do matches. But if you don't want to, then don't obviously change any of that. But just put it to that if you want to do other objectives to get SP, because you're just going to save yourself a couple of minutes. I'll meet you back once the season has started. So once you have got yourself to the start of the season, you are going to head over to transfers and you're going to scroll all the way over to the transfer hub. Now, while you're here, you are going to be checking to see if there's any offers. Of course, at the start of the season, there won't be, so nothing to worry about there. Head over to search players. Once you're on search players, you're going to select the free transfer. Make sure it's on free agents or free transfer, and you're going to hit Y or triangle to search, and you're just going to sign all of the players you see. So add them to the short list. There's 1, 2, 3, so make sure you just got 5 on there, and then once you've done that, we'll head into the next step, 4, and then of course that's 5. Now once you've done this, all you are going to do is just head back out, head over to the transfer window, and you're going to head over to the transfer hub, and you'll see that your listed players are here. Press A or X to show accent, approach to sign, and then there you go. You are going to go into this conversation. You're going to offer them whatever their contract is that they want. So for example, we're going to add in a rotation. They're going to say yes or no. If they accept it, they accept it. They want a 2-year contract, we're going to accept. Once a 2-year contract has been done, we're going to propose a release clause. We're just going to knock this up to, I don't know, $160,000. If they say yes or no, doesn't really matter. We could just put yes. And then we're going to talk about salary here. We're going to offer them $100,000 because they can't really say no to that. Submit offer, and then you'll see here that they're going to accept it because, of course, that's a crazy amount of money. Bang. Transfer's done, and you'll know if it's an A grade or an S grade or a D grade or an F grade because of this graphic that pops up now. And as you can see, bang, an A. Now you've just got to repeat that process another 4 more times, which I'm going to do behind the camera, and I'll meet you back once that is done. FC26 is finally here, and if you need those FC points or FC coins, then you need to go over to eldorado.gg. A little secret here for you guys. Use code GGG. Get that 5% off on all of your orders. The beautiful thing about Eldorado is they have a money-back guarantee, where if you ever do get scammed or you feel like you're about to get scammed, they will guarantee your money back. Look at the Trustpilot reviews. As you can see here, one of the best, if not the best, current market prices as well. Don't forget to use code GGG. That 5% off, and let's get back into the video. And that is our last player done. So now we have signed all 5 of the free agents. They've all been an A grade as well. So that objective is done. Now, before you quit and start another career, you don't even need to do that. With this system, you can just head over to your academy, head over to your youth squad, and then you're going to have a look to see if you have anybody that's got the potential of 90 rated or higher. So we have a look here. We've got 80, 88, 78, 84. So we have none. So you're thinking, well, that's the end of it. Nope, there is another thing you can do here. We're going to head over to scouts. We're going to send them off to 3 locations. So starting off with the first one here, we're going to head over to South America, head down to Brazil, and we're going to head there for 3 months. That's what we're going to do. And it is going to be any position you want. I'd go for centre mid just because it's a little bit easier, but just tick off all positions. It really doesn't matter. So make sure you've got the maximum positions you can, right? Hit advance, and then he's just going to be on his way. Skip and start mission. Okay. That one's done. Then you're going to hire another scout to do the exact same thing. You want to get the best rated ones when possible. So 4-star, 4-star. And with your second scout, you are going to head into Europe. You're going to head into the central of Europe. And you are going to select Germany. And you are going to be there for 3 months again. And you're going to do the exact same thing. This. Doesn't matter what positions. Bang. Set it, and then you're going to skip and start, hit OK, and that's the other one. And then your last scout, you're going to do the exact same thing, select the best option there is available, and as you are going to search with that last scout, you are going to head back into Europe again. You're going to hit Central Europe, and you're going to head down to France. 3 months, and the exact same thing. Bang, 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 right? And this is going to be able to get the scout and one done because you're going to get 3 players back that are youth players under the age of whatever age and been able to get maximum of 90 potential. That leaves us with our last objective at the same time, which is win a domestic cup. All you need to do is either win the Premier League or FA Cup, doesn't matter which one it is, and we are going to show you the most efficient way of getting this done. So all you're going to do is sim until you get to the first FA Cup game. You are just going to go ahead, sim, and play that, and that's why we went back to saying about 3 minutes and beginner. So as we go ahead and get into the first game, we are just going to go ahead and check our calendar. So we head over to the office. We can go over to our calendar and we can have a look here. So we've got Champions. There is the first Carabao Cup game. We don't care about that. Have we got the FA Cup game here yet? I don't believe it's popped up yet. So we are just going to go ahead and find the FA Cup game. So we have made it to the first game of the FA Cup, the 10th of January. We got Crystal Palace. Now, it's important that you win these games and don't concentrate on the league. But before you get into that game and I'll show you the best way to win it, we're going to head back over to our scouts and see how they've got on, if they found anybody in terms of what we're looking for. So let's go back over to the academy and head over to the youth scouts. Now, they all should have their reports done, and we are looking for 2 specific things. For example, 94 rated and 16 years of age. That's absolutely fantastic. So we are going to go ahead and sign that player. We're then going to look for some more. So you want to go through the entire thing. For example, this guy here, 17 to 93. Fantastic, so we can sign him straight away. And that's kind of what we're looking for. The younger they are, the longer you have to wait. So we've got another 17-year-old with a potential of 94. And that scout's done. Now we are going to head over to France and Germany, and we're going to look for the exact same thing. So 17, again, potential 75 to 94. Let's sign him. And then we are going to head down to see if there's any more here. 15, I'm not interested in, too young. Then we're going to head over to Germany, and we're going to do the exact same thing one more time. Is there anybody in here or not? 89, 94, 17, fantastic. And then we have ourselves 90 and 17. Now, once you've signed those players, you are then going to head over to your youth squad, and you're going to look for those said players that you've just signed. For example, Berg, we're going to go ahead and promote him to the senior squad. So there is 1. Promote to senior squad 2. And then the third one here is going to be, I think it's too young. Actually, we'll double check. Okay, there we go, 3. And you can do as many as you want. 4, it doesn't really make a difference. And then 5. So you're going to need 3, but that has been done there. So we've got that one done. Now, the only objective we have left is basically win a domestic league, which is either the Premier League or FA Cup. And that comes back to the method I was saying. Now, with the FA Cup, you really want to keep an eye on your calendar and make sure that you're not simming these games in terms of full sim. You're going to want to play them, and that's why we went to 3 minutes. And, of course, having beginner, you're going to go ahead and score like 3 goals. And then once you've got those 3 goals, we're going to show you the next thing. So go ahead and get into the game, score the 3 goals, and I'll meet you back once we've got those 3 goals. So we have gone ahead and scored the 3 goals. And then once you've got those 3 goals, you're just going to pause it. And then you are going to go all the way down to sim to end. Now, I recommend just be careful with this. You know, we won 4-2, even though we're 3-0 ahead. So you may want to wait until the start of the second half against the quote-unquote better teams to get that done. Now, you're just going to keep following those steps on the calendar until you win the FA Cup. So, again, we're going to go back to the calendar, not the standings there. Back to the calendar, and we're just going to find the next FA Cup game. Sometimes they don't pop up straight away, so just be careful not to sim too far ahead. So what I recommend you do is just do like 2 weeks at a time and checking the future month on the calendar. So I'll meet you back at the second game. So we simmed a few weeks, like I said, and then we head over to February. There is our next FA Cup game on the 14th. So we are going to go ahead and sim to that game using the exact same tactic as I showed you previously. So another trick you can do is score like 5-6 goals within the first couple minutes of the game and then sim that way if you're a bit worried about in terms of losing. You see there we won 6-1. So that's another leg done of the FA Cup. And we're just going to repeat that process all the way to the final now. So I'll meet you back at the final. But as of right now, you would have ticked off all of the other objectives we were looking to do, apart from the domestic. So sign 3 youngsters and, of course, the other objective that we originally started off with, which is make 5 transfers. So again, I'll meet you back at the FA Cup final. As long as you stick to what I've just showed you, you'll be absolutely fine. So we made it to the FA Cup final, and we have got ourselves Man City, and we're going to use the exact same tactic we've used the whole time. Score about 6 goals, 7 goals, and then sim to the end. So I'll meet you back at the end of the match. So we scored those 6 goals, and now we are just going to sim to the end, and then that's going to give us the win in the FA Cup. We see that 8-1 we won, and we've won ourselves a domestic trophy. Now, if you followed all those steps correctly, you will have every single objective done and complete. All we're going to do now is just sim to the end of the season, basically, just to make sure it's ticked it off. So just sim to the end of the season, and I'll meet you back at the end of the season. So there we go. We made ourselves to the end of the season, and if we were just to check the domestic tables, as you'll see here, in terms of objectives, we have won ourselves the FA Cup. That's done. We didn't win the Premier League, we didn't win the Champions League, and we didn't win anything else. So all we're going to do now is just go ahead and save and quit. So we're going to go save and quit. And I'll meet you back at the objective tab once you've got through the save and quit and the home screen. So as you can see, we have completed these two. The only one we have left is major competition, and that is just because we haven't ended the season. So we're just going to go back into our season again, just to show you there. That's why it hasn't been ticked off in case. And we are just going to sim and carry on from our previous one. So let me go ahead and load up my old save. So here we are then. We're going to go back over to the calendar, and we're just going to sim until the end. So basically it needs to register that we have won the cup. That's why we have to do this. So let's go ahead and transfer all the way to the end, or simulate to the end even, and I'll meet you back at the start of a new season. So we can go ahead and end the season. You see that we came third. We won the FA Cup right there, as you can see, and then we have ourselves the Community Shield with a runner-up, FA Cup winner, semi-final, and runner-up. So nothing too crazy there. Just making sure that we have shown you that we did win the FA Cup. We are now going to start a brand new season, which we are going to do now. So the new season has started, and now we are just going to save and quit again and show you that the objective has been completed. And then there you go. As you can see, it has all been ticked off, and that's how you can do all three together as quickly as that, as we've covered in this video.